Yes, sir. Geeks all over the globe, God. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Cuz We Geeks. Well, we encourage you to stay geek, man. It's too early in the morning for this, man. But listen, we here. I'd like to thank y'all for geeking out with your boys, man. Listen, if you're into geek content plus more, do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that like button. Help us get them likes up today, man. Other than that, man, we got a full cast today, man. Of course, we got the regular. We got Cuz in the building, man. My cuz Will. We got Big J returning. I don't know why he keep coming back, man. But shout out to Big J, man. He back. And then we got a new guest on, man. Might be a permanent. We're gonna see. Got BA in the building, man, aka Justin. What up, man?
What's going on, man? What's up, family? How y'all doing?
Not much, man. Not much, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, guys, we got a lot to get into today, man. Some Star Wars news, a little bit of Ryan Coogler Sinners news. We'll probably get into that too. And some other things, man. So y'all ready to get to it?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Listen, I got this Star Wars shirt on for a reason, man. Like I said, some Star Wars news is dropped. Right now, this is considered a rumor. All right. So we don't want nobody to be sitting out here telling their friends that this is concrete or anything. This is a rumor. All right. Dave Filoni might be taking over for Kathleen Kennedy here for LucasFilms. So that's the rumor that's going around right now. So let's go ahead and see what that's talking about here. All right, let's get this and put this in the people phase. Check it out. Current thinking is scenario where Chief Creative Officer Dave Filoni and production head Carrie Beck, both Lucasfilm vets, take a co-head role. But the knock against Filoni is that he might be too steep in Star Wars lore and risk steering a show into dense mythology that loses the broader audience. Quote, he's not the Andor guy. He's the Ahsoka guy, unquote. Says one Disney insider, Beck, who joined the company in 2012, knows the ins and outs, but neither she nor Filoni has much film experience. It's pretty interesting, man. All right, man. Let's get BA's opinion on this first, man. What's your thoughts on this, man? Should Dave Filoni be the guy, or should he be looking in a different direction, man?
I think at this point, it's no doubt he should be the guy because whatever they was doing up until this point has been a total failure. Every time they try to relaunch something, has been falling on his face. You talking about Dave Filoni? This is the guy that did bring Ahsoka. Yeah, we know that he created Ahsoka. The whole thing of what is that from the Clone Wars until the live action series. That's all him, and she's a tremendous character, one of the best characters in Star Wars. And when we talk about what's hot in Star Wars, you can go and show a silhouette of the Mandalorian, and people going to know, oh yeah, that's the little thing with Baby Yoda. Well, that's him. That's him. We know it's Grogu, but that's him. So he is actually a fan first, and the people that has, I guess, reservation for him because he might go too deep into story. Well, sometimes you got to get immersed in the story to fully understand what's going on. That's what George Lucas was trying to do, and sometimes he missed a little bit in his own right. But Dave Filoni is definitely, I think, to me, the best person for the job by far.
Okay, what you think, Big J?
So I don't think I appreciate what Dave has done, and I know he was kind of mentored under George directly. But I think sometimes that the concern is valid because Dave does lose the plot sometimes where he'll get too deep into trying to keep it as a purist. And what a lot of people like, and I've seen stuff on people talk about like Andor and versus Ahsoka and the split with those type fans. And people don't understand Star Wars is a universe. It's not one thing. It doesn't have to be one specific thing. It's not always the Jedi. Like I really appreciated the way they delve into Andor and the inner machinations of both the rebellion and the Empire and the failures based on a personal side without the Sith and the Jedi, because most of the people in the Star Wars universe are not Force sensitive. So I think that gets lost in everybody thinks everybody's got to be a Skywalker or a Palpatine or it doesn't have to be. So I think if you put somebody on there with him that can kind of balance him, like I like the stuff he's done with what's his name? I forgot his name. No, the director he works with, the Iron Man.
Dang, I'm blanking his name too. Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau, because I think that I think Jon can kind of balance him out some because once again, Jon has far more experience on the movie side than he does because Filoni is mostly a cartoon before he started doing Mandalorian.
Right.
And I just think that there needs to be another hand on there with him. It's like a co-creative, someone that can kind of balance it out. Because, like I said, if it's up to Filoni, you'll never get an Andor type. And I understand that they don't want to spend that kind of money, but you need to flesh out an entire world. Like they need to do more stuff with the Old Republic because they don't.
Yeah.
They were supposed to do a show on that, but they never did. I want
Yep.
to see stuff with
A movie.
Revan and Malgus and all the rest of them guys, but they need to flesh all that out, not just. I don't want to just see, like I said, Skywalker family. I want to see more than that.
There you go. What you think, cuz?
I agree with Big J is being able to find someone that balances it out. It's good to have someone that's deep in the lore, but then also have someone that's not as deep, just so that you are able to have the non force wielder. That's what made Andor so great, was the fact that it was just normal folks doing normal things as far as just building the rebellion. Building up or being on the Empire side, just doing their job and stuff like that. Like that's the things that you see for just normal. So it's a little bit more palatable for a lot more people. And it was just great storytelling. So yeah, I think it's going to be the combination of him and someone that has that balance of being able to, okay, you getting deep. Let's not get too deep on this particular story. Let's get a little bit more you can. The main thing for me is just being able to tell a good story, and for them to be able to be very successful with telling good stories is at times not to go too deep as well. So, and that's what made Andor so great. Didn't have to go too deep. Told a great story. Was able to pull everyone in. That's why I think Rogue One, by far the best Star Wars movie. Like I said, you don't get a force wielder to the end of the movie to just take it to the next level. So that's what they're going to have to maintain is it's a universe. You don't need force wielders and everything. Tell a good story, pull the people in. You'll be good to go. So what you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, I've been saying for the longest, like what you just said, Big J, like people they try to trap the Star Wars lore into this one little box. And like you said before, it's a whole entire universe, and that's always been one of my knocks, man, for how they were handling Star Wars. Not the whole Dave Filoni thing, just them in general. Kathleen Kennedy and everybody that's there right now. They've been doing that since they bought the rights of Star Wars, and I've been kind of like I've been telling the cuz that I'm not really a big fan of that. Like you said, man, this is your opportunity to kind of step out, man, and then broaden the horizon, man, and give us a look on every aspect of the universe of Star Wars, right? Now I agree. I'm not the biggest Dave Filoni fan. Like cuz no, I don't really watch the cartoons that he produces or anything like that. I think some of the stuff that he produces show wise, they're okay. They're not nothing to write home about. So I've always felt like I'm kind of like that representation of that person who didn't really watch the shows. So when you are showing that in his cartoons or whatever, so when he watched the shows and it's so deep in lore, like I don't know what's going on, right? Cause like, oh man, you see him and just put this and put that in there, like, oh yeah, like okay. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what that pertains to until you actually tell me what it is, right? And so I've always talked about, man, if you want these fandoms or this product to get eyeballs or this fandom to grow, it's gotta be more broad for everybody to be able to know what's going on, right? It's not just for the people who are steeped in this. And so that's why I say I always use the example, like my wife don't know nothing about Star Wars. What are you going to produce that's going to bring her into Star Wars, right? And so that's how I kind of feel like with this. Maybe Dave Filoni can look at it in a broader spectrum, man, if he has somebody else with him to help. Because like he's a very creative guy. He knows the ins and outs of Star Wars. Like you said, he was under George Lucas. So I mean, he probably has the eye for it, man. Like maybe get that one more person that can like maybe like a Jon Favreau. I don't know if Jon Favreau will be cool with it or whatever, or have that's what he really wants to do, or he wants to just be a creative guy. Or get somebody like that, man, who has been on the movie side and somebody who he collabs with pretty well, and then go from there. But I know they also need somebody on the business side, kind of like how DC's doing or whatever. But I mean, I think they can find some kind of balance with that, man, while also having him be in that role as being somebody who can kind of help, push forward Star Wars. Because Lord know they need it, man.
One last thing. So I hear what y'all saying, and I fully I support it. But at the same time, Andor doesn't sell kids' toys, right? It's not going to sell anything. Rogue One barely sold when it comes to advertisement for the kids, for the young people. That's what you have to bring them along too. That's why I mentioned the Grogu and stuff. Everybody knows when they see that little thing, oh, that's that little thing, because it has advertisement value. So that's what's going to sell for them. And also, I think when Dave has his Mandalorian Grogu, that's him and Jon Favreau working together. When that movie comes out, we gonna see like what I think that's his test. If he can sell that, if he can get a high profit off of that, then I'm pretty much they're probably gonna give it to him. But up until then, I would agree with you guys. I will pause on fully giving everything, all the keys to him. To me, that's his test. If that movie sells, because that's a live action, it's a movie. It's just this is your movie. This is your baby that you've been creating for the last 10 years. Let's see what you can do with it. So that's just my take on it.
That's that. Hold on, say one thing, BJ, and that's the balance that I'm talking about right there. What you just said, BA, like that's the balance. If you can have that balance, I'm fine with it. Because listen, the one thing I will give Filoni compared to Kathleen Kennedy, he actually has a plan on what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Like Kathleen Kennedy, I felt like she just throwing stuff on the wall, hoping something sticks, right? Like with him, he has a plan. That's all I'm asking for you to do. Have a plan. All right. If it don't work, then you kind of retool some things, but have a plan, bro. Like she never had a plan. What you say, BJ?
No, so to your point that you're saying, like, and I've heard this before. Like I saw like I don't know if you know Star Wars Theory or I forgot the other nerd dude that's on there, YouTube post videos, but they have that thing where they feel like they're protectors of George Lucas's vision. I think Filoni's like that. He's very like Star Wars is exactly this thing that George Lucas did, and it can't be anything else. And I'm like, that's the problem, because once again, George wasn't perfect. He didn't knock it out the park on everything he did. I mean, everybody hated the prequel series until 20 years later, and they got nostalgic about it. You know what I mean? When they first came out, it was very, back when the prequels came. And like I said, I grew up with Star Wars. Because the first Star Wars came out, I was 4 years old. When the first one came out, I've watched it. I grew up with all that. I had all the toys. And speaking of toys, like Rail knows, I've got about $1,000 worth of hot toys, Star Wars hot toy stuff on order right now. That's going to be coming here in the next couple weeks. So adults buy toys too, and they get licenses for that stuff. So it's not about, everything don't have to be kiddie. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be kiddie in order for it to be successful.
No, but I see what BA is saying though. It does have to be a balance. It does have to be a balance. But I want to add anything else, man, before we go to the next subject. Everybody good? All right, man. Well, let's get into these quick hits, fellas. Man, y'all, we were just talking about this last week. It says Ron Coogler currently has no plans to make a sequel to Sinners. I want it to be holistic and finished thing. All right, cuz, what you think about this one, man?
Yeah, as soon as I saw this, I was happy. That movie, every time I talk about it, every time I mention it to folks, just tell them like this movie was a moment. It's not several moments or several situations. Like it's a moment. Let it have its time to give us the ability to enjoy it for what it was, from the storytelling, from the music, just see everything that encompasses of it. Let it be. And then let him create something new, something different moving forward. This one didn't need to be a sequel, a universe, or a vampire universe, or anything crazy like that. Like, just let it be an original film. I think they said it's the highest grossing original film in like over a decade plus or something insane. But it just shows like that's what people have been craving, is a good original film, not a universe film or a sequel or stuff like that. So absolutely happy that he doesn't want to do any type of sequel with this.
What you think, Big J?
I agree. Like we talked about, I mean, I think Sinners was a complete thought. It didn't need anything else. And I know that with movie studio CEO, it had a $90 million budget roughly, and it made around almost $400 million. Let's go ahead and duplicate that and let's create a universe. But that's where they make mistakes, because they can't be original and keep doing original things. That worked. Let's keep doing that thing over and over again until we wear it out, and then everybody hates it. Let that thing stand, move on to the next thing. That's how creatives work. You do something, leave it, and then make the next thing.
What up, BA? What's on your mind?
Y'all talked about this last week, and I wanted to chime in. So I guess the only thing I can think of is you need to if they're pressuring him to make that movie, dollars are going to start talking, and when they start offering that man some money of high value, those current plans might be something that he might change up altogether. And what I was thinking off top for this movie, if you are going to do a part two, is to have a very similar to the Godfather part two. If you remember in the Godfather, it was a lot of old school when the father was going through some of the things he was going through, and then they switched it to what Michael was going through. I can see the exact same thing for this. You can show those some of the war footage. You can show some of them dominating the town that they grew up in. You can show them bootlegging from the Irish and whoever else. Like that's people still want to see that, and then show what Stack is doing at post everything and whatever the case may be. And tie now it's going to take some creative work to tie all that in, but I can see that because people still want it. Like I understand a complete thought. It was start, finish, done here. But when you talking about making hundreds of millions of dollars on film, like hold on now, like hey man, can we get anything else out of this? So if they can do that part of it, make it very Godfather-esque, I think you might have a decent sequel on your hands.
Okay. That sounds like a pretty interesting sequel idea, man. That sounds more like a prequel if you're gonna do it, if you're going back. So this a thing, man. I'm for me, like I said, I've always said that not every movie needs a sequel. For me, I think this movie was perfect as it was. Another thing too, what you was kind of saying, BA, as far as like money started talking and they might make them do this and that. Supposedly, I'm thinking that he owns the rights to this movie because he actually created the movie. This is nothing from an IP or anything that he got ideas from or whatever. This is actually his movie. He signed a multi-picture deal with Warner Brothers, so I can see him saying the yes or the no to if he decides to make this movie or not. And so I'm not if they made a prequel, as you saying, or maybe some kind of like rendition of it or whatever, or a second movie of it or whatever, I wouldn't be mad. But if you ask me, I wouldn't really want a sequel. I think it's perfect as it is. But as far as like them like forcing them and all that, I don't think they're really gonna be able to do that, man. This is his property, it's his baby, and so they signed this deal with him to where he gets to pick the movies. He's one who gets to create the movies. He gets the first look deals, all that stuff. And so my idea is, if you like what this man did with this movie, if you feel like he can make you another $1 billion or whatever that this movie made, then go ahead and greenlight another original project and get that started. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, we already know Ryan Coogler, man, is batting for 1,000 right now. He's the hottest name in Hollywood right now, and he's definitely gonna bring your studio money. So won't you just go ahead and greenlight another original project and let's go from there. But like you said, the idea you just said, that do sound interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you, because that'll kind of give you a look at what led them to being where they was in this movie. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the war, taking them back to Chicago, where they were under Capone, right? When Capone, yeah,
Capone and the Irish gangs, yeah.
Yeah, the Irish gangs, yeah, kind of showing that. But then if you do that, that'll take that horror element out. It'll be something completely different.
That's why I said they gotta be very creative to throw that back in there. But
because if think about this too, BA, what you just said too, that'll add like you said, that'll add a different perspective. Like, because when we saw that movie right there, you got the horror, you got the drama, you got the other different genres in this one. You can add some different other ones in there. You could probably still sprinkle in a couple more of the ones you already had in, like the music and all that stuff. You could kind of add different other genres in there if you're gonna do it that way or whatever. So that's like I said, that's pretty creative what you said when you said that, man. Talking about the going back to them in Chicago and all that stuff, man, and seeing where they came from and all that stuff. That's a pretty cool idea though. But you got anything else y'all want to add, man? Anybody?
Just love that movie. It's getting ready to come out. Was it next month? And if you don't want to shop it or buy it from Amazon, Target, or Walmart, you can get it from Barnes and Nobles. They're gonna have it on DVD there too.
Oh, okay. Remember when they gonna start doing DVDs, man? That's my question.
No, they gotta keep the DVDs going. I need my physical copies. They be trying to change stuff up digitally. I don't want that.
I hear you, bro. Speaking of centers, man, check this out, y'all. This guy, this is King's favorite. I mean, this is Jay's favorite guy. Listen, man, says according to a new leaked information, Jack O'Connell has been cast as Clayface in the DCU's Clayface film for James Gunn's new DCU. So then we got this right here. It says, well, I guess it's been confirmed, I guess, but not. I haven't really heard anything yet about it. But it says he's been cast as Clayface in the DC Studios Clayface in theaters September 11, 2026. All right, man. Start with you, BA, man. What's your take on this, man?
You know, we have to project the DCU, right? We have to assume that Superman is going to do well. We have to assume that the Batman movie is eventually going to come out. Supergirl is going to do well. We have to assume that the Lantern movie is going to have to do well before a Clayface movie does well. So all these things have to be in the assumption that, hey, things are moving forward where I can showcase a villain, especially a villain like Clayface, and actually sell that. So it's very Sony of them to do this. I'm not, you know, and they failed except for Venom. Clayface ain't Venom. So I'm patiently waiting, and if this is all under James Gunn, and we're probably going to get to that when we go through other things, I have to trust James Gunn and his vision. And if he's saying that this Clayface movie is going to be like that's going to be one of the major villains on the low that people don't know about, that now the world is going to know, then I will sit down for it. But everything else they have to hit in order for me to sit down and watch this. If you got some bombs in that joint and some failures, and Superman, we hope Superman does well. Hey, count me out if those projects fail.
I mean, you sound like everybody else, man. That's what it's gonna be. You got to, bro. It's got to hit. Superman has to be a hit it has to be a hit for the studio to move forward. If your first movie doesn't succeed, and that's not gonna bode well for the other ones. What you think, cuz? Oh, I think he froze. BJ, what's on your mind, man? What you got?
Well, one of the things that kind of threw me off was, I don't know if you guys watch Creature Commandos, but in Creature Commandos, when James Gunn when they first came out, he said everybody who plays a character in Creature Commandos would play the same character in real life. But Alan Tudyk played Clayface in Creature Commandos, so I'm like, why wouldn't you? Because he's a great actor. I'm like, why wouldn't you just use Alan Tudyk for Clayface? Why switch up on this one? Because he did a great job. I mean, he's got that range to be able to do pretty much whatever. I mean, you know, he was K2SO. He's been everything.
So to answer your question on that, there are multiple Clayface in DC Comics, and two, Alan, we didn't actually see Alan's face as Clayface. He just like voiced it.
Well, no, but same thing with Frank Grillo, because Frank Grillo was going to be Rick Flag Sr. and as we saw in Superman, and Peacemaker 2, Peacemaker season 2.
So, well, no, but that's the thing though. Like you saw, like that character in there. Remember, they had casted him in Superman before they did for Creature Commando, so he was already cast as it. But like I said, for Alan does a lot of voices for the people, but not the actual, like, you don't have to see his like character or whatever. The only time you've seen him as a character was when he played Dr. Phosphorus. Remember, they showed him as a human. They showed his backstory. Yeah. They showed him as a human, and then they showed him become, you know, the monster or whatever. So, like I said, for Clayface, it could be answered for two different ways. Like, there's multiple Clayfaces, and then of course there's I think he's gonna play the original Clayface, Barlow. I think he's gonna play that character, that Clayface. Like if you've seen the Batman, Cape Crusader, I think he's gonna play that Clayface, if I'm not mistaken. So that's gonna probably be the one they're gonna play. And I think the one in Creature Commandos was the second iteration of Clayface. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was.
See, I thought all that was going on simultaneously, because I thought the stuff in Creature Commandos was supposed to be happening at the same time as the other stuff in the same unit. Because that's why Rick Flag is still Rick Flag, and you know what I'm saying? Because
did he die?
Who? No, he
Clayface.
didn't die. Oh, Clayface? No, he got shot up. But you know, Clayface is Clay.
I thought what's the name? Remember like Frankenstein? Frankenstein monster and Frank Grillo's character. They both went back to that house and they saw the mud and everything still on the ground. He was still like laid there.
I don't think he was dead. I mean, because
I'm about to rewatch that, but I thought he. But I agree with you. I don't think he did, but he was late. I think he had him there like he was laying there like he was dead or whatever. Because he ended up fighting. Who did he fight? Who did he fight? Was it Cersei? Seriously, I can't remember. I gotta watch it again, man. But now we can say BA.
You also got to think of the budget for this. Like to have Clayface on the big screen and it's featuring just him, like that's a huge budget for a relatively unknown. So I mean, they're probably banking on the success of Sinners to showcase him, the Jack O'Connell, and we're gonna see what he can bring. He does play. His acting was pretty much overshadowed by Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. He did a great job. He did a great job in Sinners. So they're probably banking on that type of a character to play Clayface. But that's a huge budget, man.
I don't know if it's gonna be a huge budget, BA. I think this is gonna be more of a personal movie. They kind of said that before. It's not going to be some big major budget movie. It's going to, like I said, if you kind of take what they did in Batman Cape Crusader, it's going to be more grounded in more serious tone. It's going to be more of like a horror. So it's going to probably be like, I mean, no more than maybe $100 million for the movie. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like some kind of globe-trotting movie. It's not going to be some type of, a big budget action movie or nothing like that. I think it's going to be more of a horror, personal type of movie. So, I mean, I can see the budget being low. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do it in that sense, but like for him, like I said, it don't have to be anything major. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it could just be a small personal story for this character, depending on like what their idea is or whatever.
I think the only way you get away with that though is because I think what BA saying is because of the special effects is gonna make it.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, I know what he's talking about with that. Yeah, I've been saying I don't think he gonna command like.
Nah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he did good in Sinners, but bro, you ain't there yet. Let's just relax on that. Oh, we can say cuz.
Happy to be back. But no, I like that they have him cast as Clayface. The way that I see it is, it's going to be something. What was it? Not the way that I see that it's going to end up probably being developed is kind of like the Penguin. Something grounded and given a good storytelling. Yeah, BA's right as far as like there's a lot of assumptions going on to be able to look at doing having Clayface in the theaters basically a little over a year from now. So yeah, it's a ton of assumptions, but I think they can play it close if they keep it grounded to where yes, having Clayface walking around isn't really grounded, but still, like I think they can give a good backstory of him to where they can tell a great story off of a villain. What is it? Kind of like the Joker was a great, the first Joker was a great villain movie. You have Penguin was a great villain show. So DC does have the capabilities of creating a villain show or movie. And I think that's they're going to have to just stick with that play, that set to be able to make sure that it's successful as well. Don't try to do too much like they did with Part Dukes of Joker. Keep it nice and simple. Keep it grounded. Everything else will take care of itself. So that's how I feel. I think it's definitely a great choice. Like, dude. He was good in Sinners. Yeah, he wasn't the star of it, but he did have a good presence on it. Like as soon as you had him on the screen, you knew like something bad was going to happen. Every time you saw him, every time you felt him. So that's why I think it'll be the same thing when it comes to Clayface. You just feel you have that physical feeling of something bad is going to happen.
Don't be talking about BJ's favorite movie, man. He loved that Joker 2 movie. Don't do that. All right, man. Let's see if we get to the next one here. This wrap your alley right here, BJ. Cinematography, man. So check this out. It said DC Studios has officially hired Rob Hardy as a cinematographer for the DCU's Clayface movie. So he previously worked on Mission Impossible Fallout, Annihilation, Ex Machina, Civil War, and he's also a cinematographer for Supergirl and Woman of Tomorrow. What you think on that, BJ?
I mean, I looked at some of the stuff he's done. Like I saw he also did like Book of Clarence, which I don't know if y'all saw that. I saw that one. He did a good job on that, but I don't know. Like I said, I like, and it depends on the style of movie they're going for, because the cinematographers I like usually are people like Robert Richardson, the guy who did he does a lot of stuff with Quentin Tarantino, like he did The Hateful Eight and that grand scale stuff, or I forgot the one that did with Baz Luhrmann. Oh, Simon Dugan. He's one who works with Baz Luhrmann on The Great
Man,
Gatsby.
that dude. Hey, the dude that be working with Zack Snyder pretty good too, man.
Oh yeah, that's what. So let's see, that's what I'm saying. So it depends on what you're going for. I saw, like I said, I've seen what he did, and like I said, so if he's doing like a lot of not actiony stuff, but more intense. Just because like I watched some clips from Vienna, which is another movie he did, and like I said, it's okay, but it's nothing that popped out to make me say, "Oh yeah, this guy has amazing." He takes amazing shots.
Yeah, I agree. What you think, BA?
Man, they should just did this like Werewolf by Night and called it a day. I think they putting way too much resources in this dang on movie. But
I'm not upset about that.
I'm not mad about that either.
If they doing this, then they doing this. But like I said, I can see his work and it sounds good and everything like that. But like for a Clayface movie, from what you were saying earlier, like I need something. Okay, I wouldn't mind like a whole movie or at least a portion of the movie. You remember in The Hawk, not the one with Eric Norton when they was in that factory scene and how it was dark places and he was barely seeing them, seeing little glimpses of him hawking out and stuff. If I can get that type of aspect, that on-screen movie fear in this particular movie, then I'm good. I don't need someone that has his credentials. Give me somebody a little bit lower, maybe. I don't know, but it's just this. It has to sell for me, and they're putting a lot of resources in it. What it seemed like, and I just hope that it does well at this point.
Yeah, because what did y'all think? Have y'all seen Civil War? The A24 movie Civil War was A24.
Oh yeah.
I saw
I
clips
think it was
of it.
A24.
I watched some clips. I didn't watch the whole movie.
Like,
That's pretty good.
How'd you feel about that, BJ? How'd that look to you?
Like I said, it was okay. Like I said, it didn't seem like, because I was looking, like I said, I looked at a bunch of his stuff, but nothing that I saw from him. Like I said, I watched a bunch of stuff from Vienna, because I figured Clayface was going to be more intimate, like they're going to be a lot more close-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was watching like some of the stuff he shot for that, and it's okay. Like I said, I didn't see anything. Like I said, nothing. There was no signature style to me where I could be like, oh yeah, that's something that I would just watch just for the cinematography. Because like some movies I watch just for cinematography.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. When BA said Werewolf by Night, man, you got me sold, man.
Exactly.
Cut the check.
Exactly. No, I agree. If they do a Werewolf by Night version like that for Clayface, like that'd be perfect. Nothing too chaotic. It's nice and simple. Like it was just that movie was perfect. As far as like the most recent movie I think I've seen of his was Civil War.
Yeah.
And to me, it was shot. It was a pretty good film. I'm trying to think of it as far as like cinematography. Yeah, I don't think it really stood out much, but it wasn't terrible. I can say that much. So it wasn't like it was shot poorly or poorly executed. So I guess this is one of those cinematographers that's a safe play. Kind of like what we say when it comes to some of the actors, like, what you're going to get from the actors. A safe play is something that brings balance. So that might be what they're looking for. This particular guy is, yes, he has like a huge background, but it's just, he's consistent. You know what you're going to get from him. It's not going to be next level, but you know that there's a floor and the floor is consistent and it's good. So that might be what they're going for with this.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. Oh, what you say, BJ? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I thought about and I see what you're saying when you mentioned Werewolf by Night. I thought about something in that not quite that thing, but like my image for that movie is something to be kind of dark, because like I said, you don't want to spend a ton of money on special effects, but maybe like the guy that did Shape of Water, because he did a real good job with dark scenes and the way he shot it to where you didn't always see the creature on screen, because once again that costs money. But he shot it in a way where it kept it mysterious and dark and put an edge to it with the way he shot the movie and something like that. But is
that the guy? Don't he normally work with Del Toro?
I think so. That's Dan Lausten.
Okay, that's his guy. Yeah, because all Del Toro's movies look alike. That feel kind of looks alike or whatever. So, y'all right, man. Like I said, to answer your question, BA, we're gonna get an idea of what it looked like or whatever with Supergirl. That's gonna kind of give you the idea of what his movie will look like to some extent. Because like y'all said, I think it's gonna be a little bit more darker as far as what they talking about doing with the Clayface. I think they're trying to make it more like a horror or whatever. So it's gonna have to be a little bit darker. But like I said, when he said Werewolf by Night, I was like, yo, that's perfect right there. They could do it like that. That'd be even better. Man, they did it in black and white, but I don't know. That'd be part of fire. Speaking of DC, man, they got some more news. Check this out. James Gunn is reportedly writing a Superman Batman World's Finest film. This is a rumor, by the way, y'all. I don't want nobody to think this is news, but yeah, this is a rumor. But what you think about this, though, BJ?
I mean, I thought, and that's the thing, I thought he was kind of waiting, and that may be why he's just pushing forward, because he said he was going to wait until they came out with the Batman 2 movie with Pattinson, but that keeps being delayed, so that may not come to fruition. So I think he may be just moving on, because they keep, so it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I want them to do the world building slow, and I know Warner has a tendency to try and accelerate things, because they're impatient. Because I heard that they've been doing some reshoots and trying to redo the scope of Superman. I heard that in the last week or so that they've been making some pushes to edit and make it different, which I don't know how that's going to work out, because like I said, Warner has real heavy hands with movies, so they always make me nervous. I think that they may be trying to do the same thing because they don't learn the lesson of let's go ahead and let's integrate everybody. And even though, I mean, it looks like in Superman he's got a ton of heroes, so we'll see. If they start to screw it up, but I just don't want them to rush it and try and integrate too much. And like I said, give everybody a proper introduction. I think Batman needs his own introduction. I don't think you just integrate him and pop him into a Superman movie. I think that's a mistake.
Right. What you think, BA?
I 100% agree on that last line. Like, you did this before. Like, we've seen DC do this before. Like, you try to rush projects, right, and try to incorporate them with another. No, Marvel. If anything, Marvel did right was that first. Let's say the bulk of the 10 years they came out with, that 08 to 18. Introduce Superman, let him sell. Introduce Batman, let him sell, and then have them combine each other. Like not off top, but I would like to see this, because World's Finest is them actually working together, right? And I think that's one thing that the 2010s as a whole, we kind of missed that. They was always fighting each other. They was always going at each other, from the movies, Batman v Superman, to Injustice and those video games / movies that they was doing. It's like they always going at it. Like what happened to them being best friends? What happened to that aspect of it? Like we completely just overshadowed that with them going at each other. So if I can get that aspect, if they're selling me, hey, the only person that can really make Batman smile, Bruce Wayne smile, is Superman, and vice versa and stuff. This right. They had a great friendship when you go to the comics, when you go to the some of the animated movies. So I would like to see that on screen. But yes, 100% agree. Go with Batman, recreate Batman or whatever that is, and then let's go further with that.
What you got, Cuz?
I agree with BA. Actually, with both BA and Big J. Batman got to be his own thing. Batman's my favorite. So he got to be introduced his own way. Don't even have a Bruce Wayne yet. So this has to be, to me, just has to be more rumored than anything else, just because you don't have your Bruce Wayne yet. So it'll be pretty hard for you to know exactly how you want to tell the story at that point. Especially if you don't know the vibe of your Bruce Wayne. Also, yeah, I agree. Got to get back to Batman and Superman respecting each other, having that camaraderie, like good friends, or just the partnership. Don't even have to be like the best bros, but at least that partnership, that respect between each other. Like Superman knows that Batman is crazy and has a plan for everybody, and Batman respects Superman just off his strength, and always has a extra level of goodness code within him, just stuff like that. So yeah, it'd be good for them to get back to that, like they had it in the comics, and just We don't need the world's finest right now. Give it time. Let us get the Superman. Let us get a Bruce Wayne, and then a Batman, and then we'll be able to go from there into the world's finest. So I think it's in time. It will be great to have it, but yeah, to me, it has to be pure rumor at this point.
So I guess let me put y'all's minds at ease. They're not saying that they're gonna reportedly put this movie together. He's just saying that he's just writing the script right now. He's just writing it. So that movie could come out 20 years down the line. We don't know. He just writing it right now. So that's one. Two, kind of what you were saying, Big J, with the how Warner Brothers is doing things. That was back when we had what's your boy's name? Walter Hamada and all them running Warner Brothers. They're not running it no more. So David Zaslav is running things now, and he's putting the power in James Gunn's hands to make the decisions for that independent studio. Now, of course, the only person he answers to is David Zaslav. And so if he's, like I said, so far right now, he's just writing this. Second, what you were saying about the Batman. That was what they were talking about, that they wanted to come out with the DCU Batman after the Batman 2 comes out. That I think that's been pretty much said already. The fact that what's a boy named Matt Reeves taking so long with the script. Dude didn't had like 3 years. He's still taking so long with the script. They're still waiting. I can kind of see James Gunn saying, look, man, we can't wait too much longer. We had this movie idea from, set for this time or whatever, say 26 or 27 or whatever, right? We had this idea and you're taking too long with your project. We have to move forward with ours because your project is hindering our project. My project is important to the overall storytelling of the DCU. Yours just is one-off or whatever. So if they're taking too long and he feels like he's taking too long with that project and he feels like it's hindering his, he has the power to say, you know what, I'm just go ahead and just, get ours in a green lit or get it started or whatever, right? Because listen, it's not a secret. We already know they're coming out with Batman Brave and the Bold. The fact that they're still getting ready to, cast their Batman, their Robin and all that stuff. They're getting ready to cast all that. I feel like they do have to move forward with theirs and not let the Batman 2 hinder what they're doing. But as far as a World's Finest, I definitely would love to see a World's Finest. I agree with what y'all was saying. The way that they did Batman vs. Superman, like you said, BA, then you got the Injustice movie came out, the animated movie came out. You kind of seen them going at it or whatever. We never got to see Batman and Superman truly work together. Like, if the most perfect example they probably could do, I don't know if y'all remember the Batman and Superman animated cartoon that came out, and they had the World's Finest 3-part little mini movie or whatever that was on TV. If they could do something like that for Batman and Superman in the live action, sign me up, man. That'd be perfect right there. But I agree with you. They do need to. Which I told Cuz before. I think they're gonna get to this eventually. Like I see that being a James Gunn type of project where they're actually doing a Batman and Superman working together. Now the key is going to be, y'all, they're gonna have to find a Batman whose chemistry works with the actor who plays Superman. It's got to feel believable. You know what I'm saying, with that chemistry. So
yeah, so be tall, Luca. I was gonna say because what's the name?
Like 6'4".
David Cornsworth is 6'4". Yeah, he's not a little dude, so you got to have somebody that's gonna have presence next to him. You can't have no 5'9" dude. So you got.
What you trying to say, bro? Lee might be wrong, man. Go ahead, B.
What's his name from Reacher? Alan Richardson.
He wants to be. Yeah, he wants to be.
Yeah, he wants to be.
Yeah. He sells me every time I see Reacher. So I can see that basically damn near the same character in that as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I can see. Like I said, man, listen, that rumor definitely got hotter, man. When I looked on Creature Commandos when they had that silhouette of Batman in that one episode, and he showed him being bigger, and everybody like, oh, it's got to be a big guy playing Batman or whatever. But I don't know, man. Like I said, listen, I just want them to get it right, man. You know what I'm saying? Because whoever this Batman character going to be, you got to be believable to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's cool. I'll take Alan. You know what I'm saying? He wants a part. You know what I'm saying? He has the physical, look of Batman and all that stuff, man. We seen him play Reacher, who's kind of more like a brooding type of character. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen it before. So yeah, I can definitely see it, man. If he decide to pick him, I won't be mad at it. You got anything else, man? I want that. All right, man. Turn this page over here to Marvel, man. Check this out, yeah. Brave New World trailers had to spoil Red Hulk. Director says it's hard to keep anything secret. Marvel had no choice but to spoil the appearance of the Red Hulk in the trailers of Captain America. The film director has insisted, despite many fans believing the villain should have been kept under wraps. What's your take on this, BA?
I don't believe him. They seen that they choked under pressure. They seen that I guess maybe some of the test screeners wasn't doing good. They didn't hold true to their own guns, and they pretty much released the Hulk early. Like that, I mean, y'all was pretty much probably talking about it. Like as soon as the movie was like, all right, here the first trailer, damn near the Hulk was right there with it. I'm like, what damn? And then when you watch the movie, it took them the whole movie to turn into the Hulk. So I was like, you didn't have to do that. You could have been. It was one clip they kept showing his foot. That's all you needed to do. You could have just kept it.
Yeah, where they caught the shield and threw it down to his foot.
You didn't have to do. You didn't have to show Fallout, and especially when he wasn't a part of the movie like that. Like I said, he showed up pretty much the last third of the movie. Mm-hmm. He wasn't a part of it like that. So I completely think that they're just saving face, talking out they're behind, and they're just calling it a day with that. So y'all can go away. I just think they full of crap to me.
Let me say this though. Two things could be right. They probably did feel like this would have helped push the movie along, but let's be serious. Let's be real here, y'all. We live in an age where this right here is in everybody's pockets. How many times have we said that? Matter of fact, I know you probably heard us say this on the show, Big A. It's so hard to try to dodge spoilers and stuff like that, or people posting pictures and stuff like that of certain things or whatever, right? It is hard to keep certain things in wraps, especially when we already kind of expected he was going to be the Red Hulk just for him being in the movie. When they said Thunderbolt Ross, then you bring it back Hulk characters or whatever, like the leader and all that. You like, bro, is it gonna be the Red Hulk gonna be in there or whatever? We kind of are speculated that. But as far as like movies and stuff nowadays, it is hard to keep things under wraps, bro, because people spoil so much stuff. And it's like, that's why you saw when they came out with Endgame, they kept an embargo on the Endgame movie until the very last day of the embargo, until like the movie came out the next day, because people spoil stuff so much. So it's just like that's the one thing. Like I try my best. It's hard nowadays. Like I tell cuz all the time, like I be sitting there trying to dodge spoilers every day, man, when it comes to them leaking stuff or showing stuff or they heard this and posting stuff. Like, bro, just come on, man, chill. Like, let's get back to the point to where we can go to the movies and be at all when we see these things for the first time, instead of, well, I already knew that was gonna happen. Well, I already seen that already. I heard about that already. When we in the movies, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same anymore. But as far as the Red Hulk, you know, I kind of see where he's going. I do see where he's going with that. Like I said, when you have Harrison Ford, it's kind of hard to keep that kind of stuff under wraps, especially if you know what he's going to be, who he's going to be, or whatever. It's hard to keep that stuff under wraps. But at the same time, like you said, BA, it could have just kept it to catching the shield, throwing it at the foot. Just give you a little tease, you know what I'm saying? But they kept like pouring into that part of the trailer and showing all the stuff. I kind of even said, like, you know, that I told my cousin when his daughter was asking where the Red Hulk is. She was asking that because in the trailers, you were constantly showing. You saw a lot of them. So it's like you had no, you know, where's the Red Hulk? You showed him 20 million times in the trailer. Where is he? You know what I'm saying? And so, like you said, they could have kept it. If you couldn't keep it under wraps, you could have kept it very simple and gave like little hints or whatever to what this person could be or this major character could be or whatever. So I kind of, like I said, two things could be right at the same time, but I do agree with you on that part. Like, yo, you didn't have to show him 20 million times. Just give us some hints that, like, okay, could the Red Hulk be in here? We don't know. That could be Abomination. We don't know. Yeah. But what do you say, cuz?
And I agree that that's what Mariah didn't like the movie was the fact that they showed so much of the Red Hulk in the trailers and then didn't get much of him in the movie. It's just like, why wasn't he in more of the movie? Like, what's he showed up in the movie?
The leader was the main bad guy. We saw one part of him when they showed the back of his head. He was looking at that screen. That was it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So yeah, they and Marvel has been well known outside of their actors as far as being able to keep things under wraps and keeping secrets. Like they've done pretty good several times of being able to keep things under wraps. So yeah, I agree with BA. This one is they're talking out the side of the mouth and out the butt because it's Marvel. There's a way that they could have kept this under wraps, and everybody know that there's a way for them to be able to keep it under wraps as well. So they could have just kept it minimized and been able to minimize how much they showed of them, just to build that increase of like, yo, something massive is going to be in this movie. Let's go see it, and not have to put half of his screen time in the commercials.
They really did, though. If you think about it, they really did. But that you say that do make sense. They did do that. Go ahead, BJ. What's on your mind, man?
No, I think it was a panic move. I think that they were looking at it and they were like, okay, we're not getting the hype that we need for this movie. And there was so much negative press too, about the reshoots and all that part. So, and I think they're like, we need to get something out there. So let's get people excited. Let's throw the Red Hulk out there. And I think that's ultimately what they did. They were like, hey, let's put him out there to get people interested in the movie.
Yeah, bro, they didn't even do the Red Hulk right either, bro.
No.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
I want to go down that rabbit hole again, bro. I'll be here all night. Listen, man. Like I said, like I said, man. I just they didn't now because what you said that do make sense. They did most of his screen time was in the trailers, bro.
Yeah,
like they didn't leave nothing to the. Bro, they didn't leave nothing to the imagination at all, bro. Yeah. Like I said, they could have just kept it to like BA said, just caught that shield, threw it to the foot or something, or give you like little hints or little innuendos or something, man, to lead you to that. But don't like just throw this whole entire
showed his transformation. This whole
third, fourth of the act into a trailer. It's like now I seen what happened now. Like once you get to that point, I can go home. I already seen this on the trailers. Exactly. Matter of fact, didn't they have a clip too online of when Sam first started fighting him? Wasn't that clip going online? Before the movie, see what I'm saying? So yeah,
that's bad. But I gotta dip out, y'all. So I do appreciate y'all.
Okay, bro.
Yeah. Love y'all.
Let's go to this next one, y'all. Check this out. Avengers Doomsday was delayed to work around Tom Holland's film schedule. All right. So it says, according to insider Reddit Spider, he says a major reason for the delay of the Avengers Doomsday was to work around Tom Holland's filming schedule. Marvel Studios wanted to fit the actor into production, and the delay allows for more flexibility as the film's Spider-Man Brand New Day around the same time. What's on your mind on this one, Big J?
I don't know if I believe it because when they did the chair reveal. He wasn't on the chair reveal, and they said the reason why he wasn't on the chair reveal because they hadn't finished negotiating that part of his contract for that movie. Because I know he signed, I think it was a 3 or 4 picture deal with Sony and Marvel, but they said that they hadn't worked out as far as I guess his numbers for that movie. So they said that's why they didn't include him. So and I know he's working on the Christopher Nolan movie, and that's why they. But I mean, like I said, I don't know how big of a part they were going to give him because. I think they ended up rewriting part of that movie again. I'm talking about the Doomsday movie, so they may have made some changes that add more stuff for him to do. But we always knew he was going to be in the movie because he's Spider-Man. Spider-Man got to be in the movie,
Are they done filming the Odyssey?
I think so.
I didn't hear anything else about it. Like I know, like you said, I know he's in the movie, but I don't know if they were done. I know they were filming. I didn't know if they were done filming yet. So that might have a lot to do with his schedule, I guess. If they're still filming the Odyssey, I'm not sure. Because I can't remember if the Odyssey was filmed. Well, yeah, because they're filming right now, Spider-Man right now, right? Or they ain't started yet. I don't think I heard.
I don't think they had. I don't think they started filming Spider-Man yet.
Okay, I can't remember.
Yeah, a quick Google search. The Odyssey is not finished filming yet.
Okay. But now, what you think, Bub BA?
I don't believe in this one. I just Marvel, you ain't got to lie to me, man. Y'all knew what was happening. Y'all knew that Doomsday was. I mean, y'all got all the actors there and everything like that. But to have that movie done, to have that movie wrap up post production and all those things, like I'm not technical, but it take a lot of work post when all the actors are done to make sure everything right. Then you got to do the reshoots afterwards. Once they say like, "Hey, we should probably change this. We should change that." No, they. I didn't need them to tell me this. They could have just said what they said. Look, we're going to push it back about whatever, like a half year, to get everything out the way, to get all the reshoots done, to get all those things done. So y'all, we ain't got to keep coming back every 2 months saying, "Hey, we're gonna push it back. We're gonna push it back." Push it back a good half year. Get what you need to get out. The Spider-Man movie, make that come first, so you ain't gotta have that Ant-Man-esque movie where we're gonna tie in the present in the end scene or whatever. No, we don't need none of that. Let everything go in sequence order, and then we can keep on with that. I didn't need y'all to tell me it was because Tom Holland's not that important to delay this movie 6 months. Not 6 months. 1 month, yes. 2 months, maybe. But 6 months because of his schedule? Nah, I don't believe it. They would have just kind of ushered him in some kind of way. So, and that's just my opinion. I just think that they wanted to have the time, and they had to have an excuse for taking the 6 months. The excuse is just make sure everything's right, guys. That's all we care about.
That's all I care about. I'm with you. Go ahead, BJ.
Well, I was gonna say another thing too that people don't think about is if they were going to include Spider-Man, right? You could shoot all the Spider-Man shots with him with the mask on and the suit on with a stunt double, and then have him do ADR later. Do the voiceover stuff later, just like they did the Mandalorian with Pedro Pascal.
So yeah.
So he don't have to be on set for vast majority. I mean, just the parts where he takes his mask off, which if people don't even know who he is, how much that's gonna be, So
yeah.
I don't believe that part.
And two, like BA was just saying a minute ago, because I agree with BA. I just want you to get it right. Just get it right. I don't care. I know people like, I wanted my movie right now. Hey, listen, do you want a half-ass movie now, or do you want to get a very good movie later? Give me a very good movie later. I'm not even tripping on that. And to kind of what you were saying too, BA, I've been saying that I'd rather them have this movie in front of the two Avengers movies, because for one, then they'll ground it. That way he won't have to feel like he got to tie into these two movies and be some outer space multiverse movie or whatever. Ground Spider-Man, man, and stop doing this extra stuff with this character, bro. He is a street level character. Ground him in the first movie, in the movie, and then you do whatever you want with the two Avenger movies or whatever. You could tie him in later or whatever. And so, and on top of that too, remember, there's still two movies. You don't necessarily have to have him in Doomsday. You can have him in Secret Wars. So that way you have everything tied, the contracts or whatever the case is, you have all that squared away by the time it gets to Secret Wars. You don't have to necessarily have him in Doomsday. You got 255 characters in already. Just get the movie started so we can get this released or whatever in December on time. Like you said, everything's squared away. You got your reshoots, you got your post-production, you got your visual effects done. All that stuff will be done. Get him in Secret Wars, and we good. But you got anything else you want to add, man?
No, I just agree 100%.
Yes, sir. All right, fellas. Let's get to the next segment here, man. Before we do, man, we got to show some love to Playback.
Thank you to our friends over at Playback for this segment. Pause. If you're tired of the national media and the annoying ways they sometimes cover sports and other events, give the Glow Sun Production channel on Playback a try. We cover new and old school basketball, wrestling, and geek culture. And just recently, we've added boxing, mixed martial arts, anime, and even video gaming. So if you have time in your busy day, give our channel on Playback a look and check out some of our replays while you're at it. Another special shout out to our favorite at Playback. Back to the show.
Yes, sir, man. Get to some of these questions that come up. BA is your favorite guy in the building, man. He said, let's see what else he said, man. He said BJ is not professional. What is going on out here?
Oh,
he said Star Trek, huh? He's a Star Trek man, huh? He said, is this what being a troll is like? Yes, you're doing a great job, sir. He said the studio will make it without Coogler. Coogler on that movie, man. We're gonna see.
I thought 25 years, right?
Yeah. Is that King says, I hope Jordan turns it down as well. I say give it to another director or other heritage and let them tell it from a different direction. So you saying like from the direction of the Indians that was in the movie? Remember they chased down the vampire or whatever?
Yeah, we're not gonna have a movie from 5 minutes of Indians, Native Americans.
Because I was kind of wondering, like, well, they like how they know about all that and stuff, man. That was pretty interesting. They ain't touched on that pause in the movie, but let's see. He said he catching shots and I'm not even there. My bad, King. Let's look at the last one here. He said Justin is New York. Is
all right. So
it's too soon, bro. What we doing? Go ahead, man.
I did expect them to be in the finals, man, and I did hop on this trip that my family's going on to Broadway. So they was going to Broadway. I said, well, shit, I go along too, and be amongst my Nick family. And ain't nobody wearing no jerseys out here right now.
Oh, man.
Thanks, King.
You got your
Appreciate it.
Cat jersey on?
No. But ain't nobody. It's no nigga prayer out there, man. We still in mourning out here, I guess.
I thought y'all be celebrating because Tibbs got fired, bro. You know.
Yeah, but then Halliburton did what he did in game 1.
Yes, he did.
Just took the Band-Aid right off.
Oh man, listen, y'all. We definitely appreciate y'all, man, geeking out with your boys, man, for another episode of Cause We Geeks. Listen, if you guys are into geek content involved in movies and television, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, guys. And also, too, everybody hit them likes for us, man. Help us build that algorithm up to find more geeks like yourselves. We'll be back here on Tuesday, guys, for another episode. So join us then. Until then, man. Shout out to Cuz. He's not here anymore. We got Big J. Then we got my boy BA, man, new to the channel. We will catch y'all guys here on Tuesday. Stay geeked. And we out, y'all.